In the remote, mist-shrouded mountains of Eastern Europe, there lies a place that time has forgotten. A village that does not appear on any map, whose name is spoken only in whispers by those who dare to remember it. They call it Drozdovo, a name that carries with it a weight of dread and mystery. Drozdovo was once a thriving community, a place where life flourished despite the harshness of the surrounding wilderness. But something happened there, something unspeakable. One night, the entire village vanished, leaving behind empty homes, untouched belongings, and a silence so profound it seemed to swallow the very air. This is the story of the Vanishing Village, a tale of isolation, mystery, and a darkness that refuses to be forgotten. It is a story that will chill you to the bone, keep you on the edge of your seat, and leave you yearning for more. The story begins with Lena, a young journalist with an insatiable curiosity for the unexplained. Lena had spent years chasing stories of the strange and supernatural, but nothing had prepared her for what she would find in Drozdovo. It all started with an old, yellowed newspaper clipping she discovered in a dusty archive. The article, dated 1952, spoke of a village that had disappeared overnight. There were no explanations, no witnesses, just a haunting photograph of empty streets and abandoned homes. The article ended with a chilling line: Drozdovo is a place where the shadows have a life of their own. Intrigued and determined to uncover the truth, Lena packed her bags and set out for the mountains. The journey was grueling, taking her through winding roads and dense forests where the trees seemed to close in around her. The locals she encountered along the way were reluctant to speak of Drozdovo, their faces pale and their voices hushed. "You don't want to go there," one old man warned her, his eyes darting nervously to the horizon. "Some places are better left forgotten." But Lena was undeterred. After days of travel, she finally reached the edge of the forest where Drozdovo was said to be located. The air grew colder as she stepped into the trees, and an unnatural stillness settled over the landscape. When Lena emerged from a forest, she found herself standing at the edge of Drozdovo. The village was a ghostly sight, its buildings crumbling and overgrown with ivy. The streets were empty, the windows dark and lifeless. A thick fog hung over the village, obscuring the horizon and giving the place an otherworldly feel. Lena began to explore, her footsteps echoing in the silence. The first house she entered was frozen in time. The table was set for a meal, the plates still holding the remnants of food long since rotted away. The beds were made, and personal belongings were scattered about as if the inhabitants had left in a hurry. As she moved from house to house, Lena noticed strange details. In one home, a child's toy lay abandoned on the floor, its paint cracked and faded. In another, a fireplace still held the charred remains of a fire, though no warmth remained. It was as if the entire village had been paused mid-moment, its people plucked from existence without warning. But the most unsettling thing was the fog. It moved in ways that defied nature, swirling and shifting as if alive. The shadows it cast were too dark, too deep, and they seemed to stretch towards Lena as she walked, as if trying to pull her into their depths. As night fell, Lena decided to stay in one of the houses. She lit a fire in the hearth and tried to make herself comfortable, but the silence was oppressive. The whispers began soon after, faint, indistinct murmurs that seemed to come from the walls themselves. "Leave while you still can." Lena tried to dismiss the whispers as her imagination, but they grew louder, more insistent. She felt a presence in the room, a cold, malevolent force that watched her from the shadows. Sleep was impossible, and she spent the night huddled by the fire, her heart pounding in her chest. When morning came, the fog was thicker than ever, and the whispers had not ceased. Lena knew she had to uncover the truth about Drozdovo, no matter the cost. Lena's search for answers led her to the village church, a small, crumbling building at the center of Drozdovo. Inside, she found a collection of old journals and documents, their pages brittle with age. The journals told the story of Drozdovo's final days. The village had been a peaceful, close-knit community until a strange illness swept through. The illness caused hallucinations, paranoia, and eventually death. The villagers tried to isolate themselves, but the illness continued to spread. One night, the village elder, Ivan, claimed to have seen a figure in the forest, a tall, shadowy being with glowing eyes. He believed it was the source of the illness and urged the villagers to perform a ritual to banish it. The ritual was conducted, but something went wrong. The next morning, the entire village was gone. As Lena read the journals, she began to experience strange phenomena. The whispers grew louder, more aggressive, and shadows in the church seemed to move on their own. She felt a cold breath on the back of her neck and turned to see a shadowy figure standing in the doorway. The figure was tall and featureless, its form shifting and writhing like smoke. It stepped closer, its presence suffocating, until Lena screamed, and it vanished. Terrified but determined, Lena decided to perform the ritual described in the journals. She gathered the necessary items: a silver dagger, a vial of holy water, and a piece of parchment with the ritual's incantation. That night, Lena returned to the church and began the ritual. The whispers turned into screams, and the shadows coalesced into a monstrous form. The figure from a forest appeared, its eyes burning with malevolence. Lena fought to complete the ritual, her voice trembling as she chanted the ancient words. The figure lunged at her, but she plunged the silver dagger into its chest. The creature let out a deafening roar and disintegrated into smoke. The whispers ceased, and the fog lifted, revealing the first rays of sunlight in decades. Lena collapsed, exhausted but victorious. The story of Lena and Drozdovo ends in mystery. Some say she succeeded in banishing the entity, while others believe she became its latest victim. The village still stands, its secrets buried within its walls, waiting for the next curious soul to uncover them. The whispers continue to echo through the forest, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks in the shadows.